Viking Strongman ASMR. Today we're going to talk about Star Wars because it's Star Wars Day as I'm recording this. And honestly, I gotta show you something really cool first. This is the USC. This is the. Oops. Oops. Not to cut off. This took me about 3 days to build. More than 5,000 pieces in it. My kids took all the little guns and now they're inside of it somewhere. I do need to take it somewhat apart to deal with that, but not a big deal. It's heavy, so I'm putting it back. Now we're gonna talk about some of my favorite things in Star Wars, which for me the biggest thing is the Death Star and its construction. Like, look how secretive they really had to be with that. Like, just imagine the scale of that in our world, right? In our universe, the scale of something that massive. It's crazy to think about. The Geonosians got the short end of that stick because after they weren't useful to the Empire anymore with the Death Star, basically the Empire did a program to basically make it so they couldn't have any more eggs and offspring. Basically, they mostly died out because of that. Just how sad is that? They did all that work on the battle droids during the war, the Clone Wars, and then they helped build the Death Star, basically to be discarded like trash. I don't look at the Geonosians as villains because they were just doing what their race normally does. Industry. You know what I mean? It's what their race normally does. And honestly, it's pretty cool though. It's pretty awesome information though. And Jar Jar's end of story is kind of depressing. After everything, at the time the Empire fell, Jar Jar was basically a street clown on Naboo. Kind of sad to go from all that to that. I mean, I can understand though why everybody didn't like him after certain events from Revenge of the Sith, and from Attack of the Clones, where he was the reason Chancellor got his emergency powers. Freaking idiot. I say that in jest, though. It's more of a jest. Another thing I really like is, well, look at all the cool ships and speeders and battle cruisers, etc. etc., etc. Like it is, no, there's no shy of strange designs, but they all look really cool. Not gonna lie, they all look really cool. Sorry, had to go grab my drink. Had to pause my recording for a minute. So, what is everybody else's favorite Star Wars movie? Mine is Revenge of the Sith. Honestly, it's just, I really enjoy seeing Anakin's fall to the dark side. It's sad, but it's a great piece of storytelling, in my opinion. Star Wars is just one of my big nerd things, you know. Eventually, I do plan on doing some Star Wars roleplay ASMR videos, but for now, we're just chatting them up. My favorite of the characters depends. We're talking good guys. It's probably Kenobi. But bad guys, it is between Count Dooku and it's a bit of a tough one. Too many good ones. Too many great Sith. But it's between Count Dooku, Anakin, Vader, and Darth Plagueis. I just kind of like the story of Darth Plagueis. Has anybody ever told you the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Yeah, we knew I was going to do that. There was no resisting that. But what's really cool to me is I like the idea of midichlorians. I know some of you don't like it, but I love the idea because honestly, it does help explain some of how the Force works on a more reasonable level, to me. You know what I mean? It's partially Yoda's fault that the Jedi fail, and I will not change my mind on that one. In one of the books, it basically Count Dooku said something along the lines of, when you spend that much time surrounded by corruption, you no longer notice the stench. And that was actually part of his reasoning for leaving the Jedi, is he blamed Yoda for causing the Jedi to get too complicit with all the evils of the Empire, with all the evils of the Republic. Like, look at it. The Jedi Temple is right smack in the middle of the capital city, basically. And they're basically all buddy buddy with the Republic. That's why I think that, and I agree with Count Dooku, with you do not get to spend that many centuries and that much time around corruption without being complicit, because when you're around it that much, you no longer notice the stench of the corruption around you. I just find that so fascinating of why he left the order, because I'm like, you know what? Valid. That was a pretty valid crash out. And honestly, I kind of agree with that. Even if his reasoning wasn't the most solid, even though that wasn't the best choice of action, but I understand it. You know what I mean? So, I am getting a little bit tired, so, because it is getting kind of late. I still have things I need to get done before I go to bed. So, we're going to call this the end. So, like, subscribe, share, comment, and may the force be with you.